When I was 10, my grandmother often told me, "God has a plan for everyone, my little bird." Her words danced on the edge of my childhood dreams, mysterious and comforting. I used to wonder if that plan was written on some celestial scroll in the heavens or whispered in the rustling leaves of the oak tree in our backyard. But life, as I discovered, has a way of testing your faith in such divine plans. By the time I turned 25, the notion of God's plan felt like an illusion. My life was a collection of broken pieces, a failed college degree, a job that barely paid the rent, and a heart freshly shattered by someone I thought I would marry. I wandered through my days like a ghost, convinced that if God had a plan for me, He had lost it somewhere in the chaos. One evening, as the sun set behind the city skyline, painting it in fiery hues, I found myself on the edge of a riverbank. It wasn't intentional. I had simply walked until my feet gave out. The water shimmered, reflecting the dying light, and I felt a profound emptiness. "Is this it?" I whispered to the vast sky. "Is this the plan?" The universe answered in silence, but something stirred deep within me, a flicker of a memory. My grandmother's voice echoed, faint yet clear. "God's plan doesn't always make sense, little bird. But it always leads you home." The next morning, I woke up with a strange sense of resolve. I didn't have all the answers, but I felt an undeniable urge to start anew. I enrolled in a community art class, something I had once loved as a child but abandoned when life got hard. At first, the strokes of my paintbrush felt clumsy, the colors too bold or too dull. But as weeks turned into months, I found myself lost in the rhythm of creation. My art wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Slowly, I began to find beauty in imperfection, not just on the canvas, but in life itself. Through that class, I met people who saw the world through vibrant hues and endless possibilities. One of them was a woman named Eva, a poet who turned ordinary words into symphonies. She became a friend, then a partner, and eventually the love I had once lost hope of finding. Art opened doors I didn't know existed. I started selling my paintings at local fairs, and soon, galleries began calling. Each stroke on the canvas felt like a step toward something bigger, something I couldn't yet name. One day, years later, as I stood in a gallery filled with my work, a young girl approached me. She looked at a painting of a riverbank bathed in sunset light, the same one where my journey had begun, and asked, "What does this mean?" I knelt down and smiled. "It means that even when life feels dark, there's always light waiting for you. Sometimes you just have to keep walking to find it." As she nodded and skipped away, I looked at the painting again. For the first time, I realized what the plan had been all along. It wasn't about achieving perfection or avoiding pain. It was about finding purpose in the journey, about learning to create light in the shadows. And maybe, just maybe, God had been painting alongside me all this time.